Welcome to the One Gang Worldwide podcast, your ultimate ride into the world of motorcycles. Visit cyclesworldwide.com where we offer a completely free marketplace for everything motorcycles. Join our One Gang community where you can connect, share info, and swap stories with riders from all over the world. Join for free at cyclesworldwide.com and be a part of the One Gang community right now. Welcome back to the One Gang Worldwide podcast, and on today's episode, we are pumped to be joined by 17-year-old monster talent in the world of motorcycle racing, Niklas Wannenmacher. Already making waves, Niklas is here to share about his career, his experiences on the track, and his goals for the future. In this episode, we'll get into the high-speed world of competitive racing with Niklas, exploring the intense training, the mental and physical demands of the sport, and how he's navigating the challenges of being a young competitor among seasoned pros and balancing a teenager's hectic schedule on top of it all. So strap in and rev up, and let's get ready to race through a conversation filled with insights, aspirations, and adrenaline with Niklas Wannenmacher, right here on the One Gang podcast.
Last year, I was able to fight at the KTM Junior Cup for the first place. Didn't get there, so got second. Not the best, but it is what it is.
One Gang Worldwide podcast, brought to you by Keyboard Motorcycle Shipping. Since 1978, Keyboard Motorcycle Shipping has been the trusted name in transporting motorcycles safely across the country. With custom designed pallets and air ride trailers, your bike is secure and protected every step of the way. By choosing Keyboard Motorcycle Shipping, you're supporting a dedicated small business that prioritizes quality and customer satisfaction. Ship with a peace of mind, knowing your motorcycle is in expert hands. Visit keyboardmotorcycleshipping.com for more information. Now, let's dive into today's episode.
Today's episode of the One Gang podcast, we're welcoming Niklas Wannenmacher. We're happy to have you here, and we're really excited to hear your story and get to know you more.
Welcome, Nick. Awesome to have you, man. We got a good young man here, chasing his dreams at a young age. So let's start it off, my man. You're 16 years old. Take us where you grew up. What age did you first start riding, and what motorcycles did you start riding when you at what age?
So, first of all, hello and thanks that I can do it with you. So, I grew up in I would say a small town in Austria. Like, I got my first bike when I was 4 years old. It was an e-trial. After that, I was racing e-trial nearly 10, I think, till I was 11. So this was my e-trial time where I learned a lot of things. Also got some titles in. And with 11, 12, I moved up to the engine trial classes where I raced 2 years of engine trials. Besides that, I was trying something new with motocross and enduro stuff. Also raced there some races. And in the middle of 2020, I got the first experience on a road bike, on a race bike, on a karting track. And since then, basically, I'm full into racing. Got now my third season behind me. Since 2021, I was racing the Austrian Juniors Cup, what's now named KTM Junior Cup, with the KTM RC4. It's a 250 engine motorcycle, and I think every season we got a good experience, learned a lot of things. We saw it on the times, on the positionings, everything. It was season to season was getting better. Last year I was able to fight at the KTM Junior Cup for the first place. Didn't get there, so got second. Not the best, but it is what it is.
Before we get into what's going on now, let's keep it back for a little bit. So, because we want to get to know you, and we want other kids who are listening, or just parents that are listening that thinking about getting their kids involved in this stuff. So let's just kick it back just a little bit. So when you started in dirt bikes, correct?
Yeah, trials. Trials is a big part of my learning phase and riding phase, to be honest.
What size bikes did you start on?
It was a 12.5 offset bike, so it's a very small bike.
Got it.
very small bike. Then I think I was riding a 20 size bike, so everything got bigger, and we also
As
did
you
like,
as you go. Did
yeah,
did your
bigger.
dad get you involved in this stuff? How did
Yeah,
how did the
so
interest come about?
like my dad got me into the trial stuff when I was 4, got my first bike, showed me everything, was very funny. And then with I think 6 or 7, I raced my first competition,
Wow.
and then also got a good friend and sponsor now who helped me in all these years very good
Nice.
to race in these seasons. Yeah, I think 2 or 3 titles in the racing year. So learned a lot. What's very important now to have on the race bike also. So the trial part, I think, is very big for me.
Awesome.
So now you're getting invited by Red Bull and all these crazy things for a freaking 16-year-old. But take us back to the dirt bike days and starting, training at such a young age. And your first race was at like 6 years old, right?
Yeah,
Did you
around
have
about
any
that.
any luck winning any of those dirt bike races, or take us into that some?
Yeah, I think, to be honest, the first 1 or 2 seasons I can't remember very good, but I know for sure that I had a lot of fun trying to get everything in the trials world.
Cool.
And with that, I learned a lot. And yeah, like in the enduro motocross bike, where I only did like 2 years mainly,
Mhm.
I raced like 2 enduro races where I got a lot of experience with the bike, how to handle it, others, and I think the positionings was also very good.
Mhm.
So yeah, it was a good learning phase, I would say, everything together to have
Did you
it now
care
on the
about
race bike.
Did you care about winning at all at that young of an age? Were you naturally competitive, or were you just out there
I
having fun,
think
having a
in the
blast?
trial, in the e-trial stuff, in the engine trial stuff, yeah, to be
Mhm.
honest, yeah, I was like
Nice.
fighting in my first young championship in the engine trial class, 125cc. I was fighting to the title, but still didn't work out this season so well. So yeah,
Mhm.
it is what it is. But of course, I was put competitive.
It's
Hey,
crazy you've been doing it so long that you don't even remember your first couple of years, really. I mean, like,
And you're
Yeah,
only 16 on top of that. So
Yeah.
wait
it's
till you get our
nuts.
age, man. You won't remember anything.
Wild.
Hey,
Yeah.
wanted to ask you this. Tell the audience basically, when you made the switch from dirt bikes to sport bikes, first of all, why did you make the switch? And second of all, explain to them the difference between competing in each one. Obviously, one is dirt and one is street, but in regards to the way the motorcycle operates, the way you have to race, the way you have to prepare, can you take us into that a little bit?
I think from the preparing phase in a normal thing like training and stuff, it's in a way similar, but when I was racing, I didn't train that much because I was younger and still did it for fun mainly and still had competitive thing. But
Mhm.
also when you are, I think, 10, 12, 11, you still have more fun to do with this. And as you older you get and you more classes you get in, you more competitive you get.
Mhm.
Right.
So preparation wise, it's a lot different because like on a motocross bike or trial bike, you check the tire pressure, start the bike and get away. Like here on the racetrack, you must get like the bike ready, look if everything sits, is everything
Mhm.
good, locked up, take the
Mhm.
tire warmers, check the pressure. And like everywhere, some little details who are very important in the end to be fast also and to be not crashing because of an slightly error what happened when you don't have an exact thing in the box.
Did you learn now that you've been kind of more involved? Obviously, it's you and your dad that are so involved in the maintenance of your motorcycle. Have you learned how to kind of upkeep your bike? Are you doing some of the work?
Yeah, also I was doing 1 year of apprenticeship as a motorcycle mechanic last year, so
Oh,
Nice.
cool.
I did a lot of tech stuff to get the bike known better. So yeah, that's one important thing. As a racer, you should also understand the bike a little bit, what it does, how when you turn things that way, what does it do it other. So I think all these things should be clear for you as a rider. Should know a little bit into that.
And what size bike are you racing now?
At the moment, 250. Like
250.
it's the 1 or 2 stages before the Moto 3 category. Like in one stage under the Junior GP and Red Bull Rookies Cup series. Yeah.
Nice.
That's wild. So take us through the transition from dirt to street. What was your first street race
Yeah,
like,
so,
and what goes into the change for with like mindset and everything?
The first time on a street racing bike was on the R3 Yamaha on the karting track. We just said, why not? We looked like the years before, always MotoGP, Moto3, Moto2.
Mhm.
So we just wanted to try it. And yeah, it was quite good actually. We learned a lot. Of course, the body positioning is a lot different from dirt bikes to trials to now on the street, because in trials I stand very high on the bike,
Mhm.
and now I'm getting as slow as possible with the bike in my body. So yeah, I think my first racing weekend on the racetrack was quite difficult, to be honest, because I had like a crash on the first weekend, my
Oh,
first
wow.
high sider.
Take us
Ooh.
into that. What happened? Tell the
So-
story.
Came out of a corner. I didn't know, to be honest, how it happened. Probably I touched the white line, and on that racetrack particularly, the white lines are very slippery. So I touched it, I crashed, and the next thing I know is like laying on ground and yeah, standing up and getting into the box. So
Wow.
it's not like I was hurting my shoulder, so it was not the perfect weekend, but we went through it and made it as good as possible.
Did you ever, when that happened, a lot of people after that kind of question if they're doing the right thing or not? Did you kind of think about it, or did you say,
No, to be honest, I went into the box, talked to my dad, we made it into the box, we went into our trailer. My dad said, lay down, chill down, I'm gonna help you with your shoulder, taped me up and everything. So that's also a big part where he can help us, because he knows a lot about that stuff. So yeah,
That's cool.
that's a very good thing, I would say, to have at such young age also to
For
help
sure.
you.
Yeah. Do you think part of growing up on a dirt track and on bikes so much, a lot of people, especially as they get started later in life, they wreck, and that first wreck is kind of really intimidating and hard to get back on the bike. Do you think that because you started so young and you had probably so many wrecks as a kid, it was probably second nature for you to just get back up and get on the bike?
I would say yes, because when I'm training and crashing on the big track, it's like, yeah, the front tire slipped away, sliding into the gravel and standing up, and it is what it is. Of course, I didn't have that much high starters till now, luckily, but like when you have a high side, it's still another category, because
Right.
when I had like a training accident where in the rain where my front tire slipped away at, I think, 150 km/h. So
Oh,
Wow.
it wasn't the rain, you're just sliding.
Right.
Like a high side is something else.
Whew.
This is why I got also an airbag. So airbags helps you a lot to save your collarbones and back and
Mhm.
everything.
Yeah, the
That's
equipment
amazing
is
technology.
Incredible. Yeah.
Yeah.
So cool.
Nicholas, let me ask you this before we go on to the next thing.
Yeah.
Well, what kind of training is involved? Like, I mean, obviously, the more pro, if you turn pro, obviously the training is even more intense. But take the listeners into your day to day, where you walk in and like take us from when you walk into training to what you go through, what you have to like. Your checklist, everything that you have to get done that day. Take us through that.
So I can now I'm in Spain, so I train particularly like a pro athlete, like a pro rider. So I can say, like last year, I did it like this. I worked a full job, apprenticeship, and also did racing. So try and do workouts and everything. So I was waking up at 6 a.m., was eating, going to work, and then in the evening going to the sports to CrossFit, and go home at like 9:30, going sleep, and that's every day. Was very hard on the weekends doing the cycling stuff to get like 3 or 4 hours of cycling in the weekend, and this every week was very hard, to be honest, with work and everything. Now that I'm here, my training changed in a way. I think it's more intense. We have like Monday to Friday, every day at training. We have Monday mountain biking, at least 2 hours till I think 3 hours.
Wow.
On Tuesday, we have road cycling, I think 1.5 to 2 hours on a very good speed, also with some mountains. And then on the evening, we go on the kart track. On Wednesday, most of the time, we're going to do like road cycling or something like that. Also like a longer one to recover the legs a little bit, but still have some good
Energy.
fast pace in it. And on Thursday, it's most of the part motocross, where I also train with some very fast guys, to be honest. Today, in particular, we were motocrossing with Brad Binder or Augusto Fernandez or Sam Sunderland.
Wow.
So,
yeah. What are you doing? What are you doing in this? What kind of training with the motocross?
Like on the motocross part, it's like 50-minute warm-up. Then we do like 3 times 1 fast lap around the circuit. Between there we have 1 or 2 minutes like a break, and then 50-minute moto. And this thing like 2 or 3 times, and then we go away. So we're driving there, training, tuck, and then we are finished. So, and Friday it's either swimming, trial riding, or something else, just to keep the pace up and trying everything. So it's very hard, a lot of cycling, but yeah. And I think it's more like the pro, like MotoGP athletes also, maybe they do 1 or 2 times more in the gym. So yeah, but I think I'm on a very good way and trying to train like the pros, to be honest.
Awesome.
So I'm curious, you've got the training like the pros down. Do you take advantage of being a teenager and you have a little bit of leeway in your diet and your nutrition?
Yeah.
Or do you get really aggressive with a strict diet and nutrition?
I think at the moment it's like we try to have rice, chicken, some noodles, and some salads, and some yogurts, and some. For this is the main part, to keep it very clean, and yeah. Also
So
the
no
Spanish
big
food.
Bavarian treats and things.
Yeah, I had to have like eggs, noodles, everything that's very good for your body we take, and try to eat as much as possible and let the sweets and the crap out. So yeah.
Do you do cheat days at all?
No.
Wow, good on you, man.
Maybe because every 2 weeks we go maybe into Barcelona and eat something else, because it's good to have something else.
Yeah.
After 2 weeks of only chicken, rice,
Chicken and
noodles.
rice, yeah.
You are happy when you have
That's willpower. That's willpower of a future world champion. So we're proud
to
of you,
have
man. That's cool.
maybe a pizza or something like that, just to get everything fueled up again.
Yeah.
Who are some guys that you looked up to, whether it was before or even now? Are there racers out there that you kind of watch how they run?
To be honest, of course, Marc Marquez. I looked at him the whole time.
Why?
So Marc Marquez.
Why him?
Why?
Yeah.
I think his character is such a strong one, and his riding style is just wow. So yeah. Also now in the last seasons, Jorge Martin, he's a very good personality, and his racing style is also very good. So yeah. And everyone like Brad Binder. So to be honest, I'm very happy that I can train with that people now in a way that I looked up to 1 year ago.
That's
so
wild.
It's something very good.
Who would you say you're the closest buddy You got like those racers you look up to. Who do you think you're the closest with, or can you not say that?
To be honest, I didn't meet them quite often. Like Augusto
Mhm.
Fernandez, I meet now 2 times. They are all like funny, normal people. Like,
That's
yeah.
awesome.
So yeah.
What
But
what
from
what kind of
the
what kind of advice do you get from them as them being older guys to picturing themselves at your age too,
16. Yeah.
and
with
now
I
they're
didn't
older and pros.
I didn't talk about that at the moment because like we go like training. Then today everyone had arm pump. We made some fun about that. So yeah, it's like
Right on.
yeah. But of course, maybe someday I talk to them about that, and I think they can give you a lot of good things. What should you do? What shouldn't you do? So yeah,
Right.
Until you get too good, and then they're not going to be wanting giving you any advice then.
I think it's also important to always surround you with good people
100%.
surrounding you. To have fast people, good people. Yeah, that's very important.
Hey guys, the show will be back in 1 minute right after a word from our sponsor.
Hey, One Gang, tired of feeling like your butt's taking more of a beating than your bike on those long rides? Introducing Butt Buffer, the ultimate solution to saddle soreness. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. These cushions are made from medical-grade viscoelastic polymer, scientifically crafted to eliminate pressure points and keep your circulation flowing. No more numb nuts or numb butts. And here's the best part. Butt Buffer cushions are made right here in the U.S. for the last 30 years. From Harleys to Hondas, we've got a cushion to fit your ride perfectly. Plus, with styles ranging from sleek pebble polymer to luxurious sheepskin, there's a Butt Buffer for every rider's style. Get your Butt Buffer today at buttbuffer.com. That's buttbuffer.com. Your butt will thank you, and you'll ride longer and happier. We've got your butt covered.
You've
That goes
gotten
through life.
For real, you've got an incredible head on your shoulders for a 16-year-old, and your discipline and everything is just incredible. And I'm curious, you're going to be 21 in 5 years. You have this whole teenage season of your life, but I imagine you are the goal setting type. And I'm curious, what are your goals in the near term and then midterm? You got a 5-year plan. Tell us about your goals.
To be honest, the goal is like for every racer to be in MotoGP one day, to be a MotoGP champion. For me, with KTM as an Austrian rider, that's like the big main plan. I don't know if it's going to happen, but this is the plan. Like the near plan in the next 2 to 3 years is to get into Junior GP and the Red Bull Rookies Cup, and then eventually get into like Moto3 and then step on. That's the plan. Fear should be Moto 2 or MotoGP even, but Moto 2.
So 5 years from now, where do you see yourself? What's your ideal? Everything goes right. Everything's hitting on all cylinders. Where do you see yourself 5 years from now?
I see myself either in the KTM Red Bull IO Moto 2 team or in the Red Bull KTM factory team. Let's say it like this.
Yeah.
With
Right
my
on.
teammate Pedro Acosta, who knows who is going to name it then? Brad Binder maybe.
Well,
That's
just
awesome.
just chatting with you and seeing your discipline and the way you take life and approach towards chasing your goals, man. We feel that within 5 years you'll definitely be there. Just continue with that thing. I did want to
Thanks, man.
ask you. I know we got into a little bit of the training schedule, but as a 16-year-old who obviously has school too, how are you balancing school with racing and kind of like take the kids maybe that are listening to this podcast and have dreams like you do? Explain how you balance the schooling with your passion.
To be honest, I do this now full time, so I don't have any work or school to do.
Wow.
So I
Okay.
do that. We said we do it full time now, and if it doesn't work out, I'm gonna do an apprenticeship and work my normal life. So yeah, but I think the thing is how to tell younger people just trying to get the goals in and just be disciplined. Just be disciplined, work through the school stuff and train hard. This is, I think, my advice, because like I also was racing when I was in school. Like the whole try till the first racing year or second, I was in school, so it wasn't that easy, but I went through it and made it. in a way.
Gotcha. How are you managing? Just obviously at a young age, you have to get focused because now it's almost like you're chasing a career, right? So you're chasing your future, the way you're going to make a living, the way you're going to do and what you're doing. So it's got to be a little bit difficult in regards to things that maybe normal teenagers go through, right? Friends, proms, all that stuff where when you just focused and
So
said, that's it, man, this is what I'm doing.
I
And
think in Austria, while the racing season, I said, hey, I know the time is very short. It wasn't that much time for friends. I maybe saw my friends once or twice a month
right.
and like partying. To be honest, you must do it sometimes in the off season to get chilled down a little bit
course.
because it's necessary, I think, in my age a little bit.
Very.
In the off season, you go party 1 or 2 times with friends, have fun, and that's the way. But in the season, it's like full focus, train, eat, sleep, repeat everything. So yeah, that's
cool.
the thing.
Thanks for answering that. I was just curious about that. So thanks for the honest answer.
Well, so you've started marketing your own brand. Tell us what you've got out there currently, and I'm sure your dad's helping you out there. Tell us a little bit about that.
So marketing wise, I have Instagram, where you can find me under Niklas Wannenmacher 04. It's the same on Facebook. And yeah, I also have a website with a lot like packages, and on fan shop it's like nv04.at. So yeah, and also on LinkedIn I'm very active. So yeah.
And
Like
what
the
kind
main
of
part is
products? What kind of products are you selling to your fans?
like on the fan shop we have caps, we have hoodies, we have t-shirts. So the most stuff that is good to wearing around also in the private area. Here you can see my logo, like either
cool.
the 04 big on the back and my logo in the front. So that's like the marketing thing wise, to have like also my number or my logo anywhere. So yeah.
Tell us about the number. Why 4?
Hey,
Why 04? Because I was born the 4th of April and got my first bike on my fourth birthday. So this is, to be honest, the main part where I have 04. I just like the 04 more than the 4.
That's
so yeah.
cool. Easy decision.
hey, you current? Do you currently have sponsors? Do you have companies behind you now?
Yeah, I have some companies, also some who helped me a long time now, like Xayo helped me since I was trial riding or e-trial. So I'm very thankful about that. Since last season, I also have race mats on board. So yeah, it's like some very good people around me.
That's
Yeah,
awesome, Matt.
they
That's
helped
awesome.
me.
Awesome. Good. It's good to see that for sure.
And now for this season, I also made kind of a deal with LS2. They gave me some free helmets, so I'm very thankful about that.
Nice. That's
Like
nice.
to have proper fitting, went to LS2. They gave me proper helm fitting, made me everything ready. So
That's awesome.
getting in a way where we're gonna be happier and to have more sponsors, of course.
That's awesome. Nicholas, before I get to the next question, can I ask you this? In your training, where you're training now, right? You're training with some big boys, definitely some big names in the industry. Are there a lot of kids your age that are doing this?
I think that the way that I'm doing it from Austria, only 1 or 2, they're really in Spain training that much. But yeah, in Spain, there is a lot of more. They're racing since there are like little childs of 4. Like every Tuesday after we trained, they're coming like little kids. They're like, I think, I don't know, small and have go on the bike and race. It's like full gas. So it's very funny and good.
That's one thing about Europe is the MotoGP is such a big event, so a lot of kids grow up in that. Well, here it's a little bit different. I don't know. We have Indianapolis, right? The races there, and we got some MotoGP that comes, but definitely not the same.
I know.
way as
Also, train with 2 Americans at the moment, sometimes 3. Garrett Gerloff is also sometimes with us, or like Max Ford or Daniel Lozano. They are like Max is racing Junior GP Moto 2 this year, so yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, from there I know the perspective from America, so yeah.
That's great. That's great. Hey, all right. Well, we talked a little bit about what you've been doing and what you're doing now. Take us a little bit back. Your dad, I know your family is your family's extremely involved in what you're doing, which is fantastic. But
Yeah.
the influences came from what, your pop, right? Your dad is
From
the
my
one
dad. From my
what's his story? Fill us in.
What's his story is like he raced enduro races like the Erzberg, did some trials, and this was it. Like with his friends, he just tried enduro and stuff. So yeah, that's the big thing. And also like I also have a big support of my family. Without my mom, friends of my family, and my dad, it wouldn't be possible.
It's awesome.
Because
That's
it's also
huge.
a big thing going into Spain, doing it full time.
So actually,
Yeah.
I've got another good question for you, but I'm curious before I get there. Tell us like what it's like being in Spain. I mean, you're 16, you're in an Airbnb right now, right?
At the moment, yeah. Till then, tomorrow, not anymore. But it's just a dream, to be honest, that I didn't think of 1 year ago I would do this now. To do
Wow.
it really full time, train every day. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
That's so cool.
Hey, is Spain one of the places where they have the best training schools? Is that why a lot of
Spain is
riders
the
come
main
here?
part. Spain is the main part where most of the riders get early out and everything. So Spain is the biggest part.
The
to be honest.
biggest,
Then
huh? Wow.
Italy and then France. So, yeah.
Wow.
Like when you watch Moto 3, Moto 2, MotoGP, you see a lot of Spain and Italian guys because they have the climate here to train all year round. So yeah.
Yeah. You said it was a little bit cold. What's the temperature like right now?
Like here we live a little bit in the hills. Like when I would be at Cartagena, would be like 22, 20 degrees on the day. Here in the morning we have a little bit foggy with 5 or 6 degrees, but from 10 till 5 it has like 15, 16 degrees. 17 it's getting up and up, but still in the morning it's very cold.
So that's similar to Florida in winter. So it's like around 40, mid 40s, and then up till about 70 for the American listeners who use Fahrenheit out there.
Well, Florida's 40s very, very seldom. So we only
Right.
get a couple of mornings like that cold.
Yeah,
But
very rarely. So I'm curious, Niklas, what would you tell a younger Niklas as far as advice goes, and what would younger Niklas want to hear from 16-year-old Niklas?
I think just keep going. Maybe train in the trial time a little bit more, but just keep going.
Well, why do you say that? Why did you just say that?
Because like in the e-trial time, it was always like one guy who was a teammate and a friend who always was a little bit better. And at that time, I was riding at home in the woods a little bit, but not particularly training very much for the big trial stuff. So I think if I would say to myself, maybe train a little bit more to get this one title, to be the only one who took the title from away from him. But I think just keep going, be disciplined, and take the good moments with you. That's the thing that I would say.
And what would you tell other more general advice for all the kids out there who are getting into riding?
I think be very disciplined. Don't take some losses too hard, and just keep training and do the best you can do. Otherwise, it's not possible.
Great advice, man. Great advice.
Sage wisdom from a
16-year-old.
12 years experience. 12 years experience on a bike.
That's
Nuts.
awesome, man. That's awesome. Hey, well, you already kind of mentioned your social media platforms, and we'll link those to the notes of this podcast. You did just get nominated for Athlete of the Year, right? For your where you grew up. for
for my
2023?
region, exactly. So next
Tell
Thursday,
us about that.
so next Thursday, I'm flying back to Austria for 2 days to get there, taking the pictures, and then flying back here. So yeah, I was
So cool.
saying my mom hello again. So yeah,
Nice.
yeah,
So
and
what
then
is it about? What was the nomination?
it's like an award around that region where like fans can vote for you, and
Mhm.
then if you win, you win. Like, I'm very happy and thankful about my fans who voted for me, because I think I won with a very good gap to the next athlete. So
Nice.
yeah,
Nice.
Was
That's
it
cool,
an
man.
age group or was it every
no,
athlete?
it was like there were like 4 athletes in every region, when man and woman,
Wow.
and I was one of 4 of them. So I got a good amount of fans. Thankful
So
about that.
cool. So
Nice.
cool. That's wild. So we're going to hop into the speed round. Before we get there, I think
Yeah.
you mentioned you have a website. I believe did you mention the
Yeah.
URL already? What's the website
Yeah.
address?
NV04.at.
Okay, that's what it was. All right, cool. So I'll definitely include that in the notes because most people
Yeah.
won't remember that one. And then
Yeah.
last thing before we get into the speed round, the super intense speed round, I'm curious, how did your English get so good?
I think through my teacher, through my
So it was school.
I don't know how
Okay.
it's called. It's English, like through my English teacher. I was in the sports school, so this helps me also a lot through my
Mhm.
career now.
For
And
sure.
the people, like my teachers, were so helpful. Like, I learned a lot from them as a person and as a student.
That's cool.
Also my teacher, like, he was one of the best, and we're now still friends. So yeah,
That's
I
cool.
learned a
Nice.
lot in English.
You miss getting homework?
That not, but I miss, to be honest, maybe sometimes to go into that school, in particular to the 1 or 2 teachers. So yeah,
That's cool, man. That's cool. I'm sure you're making a lot of the people, whether it's teachers or whether it's neighbors or whether it's people that are surrounded by you or have met you in the past. I'm sure you got a lot of people, fans and wishing
Yeah.
you nothing but success in your young journey. So, well, you could definitely have two American guys here in the States
Thank
that are
you.
now NW04
Mhm.
fans. So, man, hopefully we'll get some shirts coming. We'll buy some
Yeah.
shirts and get some here so we can wear them.
And you mentioned too,
Yeah.
you're happy to go back to Austria to see your mom for a couple of days. How often do you get to see your mom these days?
So, like, I'm now one month here. So yeah,
Oh, it's going to be killing her.
like particularly, I think 2 or 3 months.
Wow.
Like this, or maybe a little bit longer or shorter, I don't know. She also comes like in middle of April. She comes here because like in the beginning of April at my birthday, I'm back home because I have a test also there. So
Mhm.
it's getting good. Yeah.
Good.
Okay.
Hey,
that's
And
good.
Nicholas, before we get into that, just one more question I wanted to ask you. At this point in time, is moving to Spain on the radar for you? Is that something that you're thinking about, like moving full time where you can be here all the time?
I'm moved, to be honest, full time now.
You are. So you are officially
So
moved.
you are. I'm hard. So yeah,
Wow.
moving
Okay.
tomorrow in new flat to be now have a bigger room and everything. So yeah,
Nice.
that's the
Cool.
plan.
How's your
cool.
dad? How's your dad as a roommate? Is he a good roommate?
Yeah, but at the moment the Airbnb is still a little bit small, so I'm happy to move into a bigger flat to have a little bit more room for everyone.
All right.
instead.
Awesome, man. Awesome.
2 bathrooms.
All right, my
hopefully.
man. You ready? You ready for some fun questions?
Yeah,
We
I'm
got
ready.
2 minutes on the clock.
Oh, okay, let's go.
All right. First question. What's the best motorcycle you've ever owned or ridden? Your favorite?
I think my race bike, my KTM RC4.
Nice answer. If your motorcycle could talk, what would it say about you?
Maybe it goes sometimes faster.
Oh,
All right,
nice.
Cool. All right.
Faster. Okay.
I like it. Best place you've ever ridden and why? Could be a track, could be leisure.
I think like of course my home track Red Bull Ring, because it's has some hard things in it, but it doesn't look that hard. And the other track, I think Sachsenring. Like everything there is such a nice flow. I think Red Bull Ring and Sachsenring.
Cool.
And
Cool.
maybe Valencia. I think Valencia also.
What's the most embarrassing song on your playlist?
I don't know, to be honest. Probably the last Italian one, I think. But I don't
Okay.
know. Probably the last Italian one, yeah.
All right. Okay, if you could time travel to any era, could be backwards or forwards, where would you go and why?
I think racing-wise, a little bit backward. Because, like, it's getting too much aero, I think.
Okay.
Nice. That's a great answer, man.
All right, so this may be hard to answer, but do you have any favorite motorcycle movies out there?
I think the one MotoGP one, I don't know the name exactly, but one MotoGP one was very good. So yeah.
Cool.
And
All
All In from Mark Marquez, the series. This was also very good.
All in. Right on. Cool. All right, so do you have a crush? So your favorite movie crush or star crush or a well-known person? All right, good
No.
answer. Okay, so if you could meet anyone from any time, past or present, and have dinner with them, who would it be?
Phew. Probably... No, probably a racer. A good one.
All right.
Just question him something. Like, yeah. I don't know.
That was a quick answer. It still counts. All right. If you were president and you could change one law to help the motorcycle community, what would it be?
To get more support in the racing industry in Austria.
Cool. Good answer.
Okay. And what is the best piece of advice you've ever received?
I think just keep going, have fun, and learn a lot of things, and take the good things, what I learned now, into further life. To have everything you learn to take into your next years into life.
All right. Okay, let's see. If you could get up on stage and sing or jam with one band, or just be on stage with them, who would it be?
Wow, it's hard to be honest. Think band-wise, I don't know. At the moment, I hear a lot of Linkin Park.
Okay.
I was just listening to them this morning. That's hilarious.
Or yeah, I don't know. I listen to a lot of music, so I don't know.
Do you have a
What
do you
kind
have a song? Hey, do you have a song that kind of gets you in the mood before races that you
Yeah,
listen
so
to?
I have an own playlist where I don't listen that much in. Only like on race weekends. There are not a lot, but there are some who keeps me get into the mood. Yeah, into the racing.
Hey, are they hard rock or are they more just chilled?
They're mixed through from normal music to hardstyle to something classic to something. The last song is something
Nice.
Italian. So yeah,
Nice.
to get
That's cool.
everything.
Eclectic taste. I like it. What's your favorite Linkin Park song? Or top 3?
Oh,
You
I think Numb is good in the end, and the last one, the Friendly Fire, is also pretty
That's a
good.
great
the
song.
new stuff.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Here's a funky one. What's one piece of clothing that you have that your dad can't stand, but you love it?
Oh, I think probably one t-shirt or one hat. I don't know. Or, yeah, t-shirt or hat, I think.
Gotcha. All right. So here's a funny one. If they made a biker themed movie about you, who would play you?
And don't say Justin Bieber.
No, would be hard to be honest. I would say, why not me, but I don't know.
Yeah, or
You can
you
be,
could
hey,
play
why not
yourself.
play yourself? What the heck?
That counts.
There's no rules to this.
All right, here's another funky one. if you're about to hop on your bike and take a ride, whether it's a race or training, do you have any habits or superstitions that you do or funky
Yeah,
things?
so I have now built up over the last 3 years, like very things I always do before the thing, like taking my helmet, hit it 2 times, then always the right glove first, and then before I stand on the bike, I always stretch up and down and hit me 2 times on the like on my legs to get
Nice.
very
routine.
particular order.
Good.
That's awesome.
That's cool.
It's like shooting a free throw. That's really cool. So besides the One Gang Worldwide podcast, obviously, do you listen to any other podcasts and do you have any favorites?
Yeah, Gypsy Tales podcast I sometimes listen to, or like the Red Bull Athletes podcast I always listen to,
A good
or
one. Yeah.
sometimes maybe even my own podcast I do sometimes with a good racing colleague or with
Nice.
or to do something maybe, yeah.
That's awesome.
So
That's
these
awesome.
top 3.
Well, you
All right,
you
you
made
made it
you
through,
made the
man.
2 minutes, buddy. You made it right in time. Good
Thank
job. Hey, man, we just want to say, first of all, thank you so much for taking the time. I know you're tired and you got a lot going on. So tell your dad thank you from us. And you got, like I said, you got fans here in the States pulling for 04.
Mhm.
So
Big
we
time.
wish you nothing but success, safety out there. And we're excited to watch you move up the ranks and hopefully maybe have you back at the end of the year, see how the racing season went, if that's cool
Yeah.
with you.
Of course, I must say big thanks to you that I can do that with you because, yeah, it's always nice to speak some with other people and to get, big thanks
Absolutely.
to you guys.
All right. Thanks,
we
my man.
appreciate it. We look forward to seeing you when you're 21 in MotoGP and you're a star.
Hopefully,
be
world
turning
champion
sponsors
of
away.
Moto3.
Let's go,
Yeah.
buddy. Awesome. We're rooting for you, man. Thanks for joining us today. That was a lot of fun.
For
Thanks.
sure. Thank you so much. Keep up
All right,
the
take
great
care,
work,
Nick.
buddy.